See my face. Hello, I'm Jonathan, and today I'll give you some details to, to talk about a particular terminology that I would use when it comes to attending community service events. But I'd like to spend a few minutes sharing about something more important than myself. It's about an organization called Help for Hope. But before I get to that, let me ask you, to be honest, what would you do if you are walking down the city and see a homeless person, maybe with raggedy clothes, and she with order? She is pouring out an empty cup, asking for help. Be honest, what would you do? Equally important, what do you think when you face this person? In other words, what would you consider it when you began to maintain eye contact with that person? We will talk about this because my topic is exactly this: homelessness. What's the official answer? Far too many of us are one step away from being homeless, from being a house. What will you do about this problem? Who is responsible? What can we rely on? And most important, what about we? What can you do? Not politicians, not the government, not social agencies, but you. Think of this basket as you. Yes, me as well. Don't worry, I'm not left out. Ultimately, who is responsible? Morally and ethically. I think it's clear that we must be all part of the solution. Which points out that in my community, I myself and everyone, like majority of Americans or less, supports homeless individuals, contributes to community well-being, and is linked to broader social impact. Sorry. Volunteer with the Help for Help project. I help provide homemade music, homemade meals, clothing, and personal hygiene supplies, making a meaningful impact in local homeless communities. Let's continue. Very little will happen if we rely on organizations or government to solve the problem of homelessness. let me suggest that we start at the local level. Let me introduce you to a local group called Home. Hope, aka a local volunteer group I work with directly, providing meals, clothing, and hygiene kits to unhoused individuals, showing that the local action can make a real difference when government efforts fall short. And I'm personally familiar with this group, Inc. And likewise, vouch for efforts and effectiveness. So, to add on why I mentioned that line is I help prep and hand out homemade meals at community outreach. Like this here, for instance, making sure people have something warm filled to eat. I'll give you that one. That dessert I was showing you is basically Vietnamese. I think it's called Vietnamese drink. In other words, it's basically one of the desserts, traditional desserts of Vietnamese or American and all other cuisines we try. I also help collect organized donations, jackets, socks, hygiene kits that were handed out during monthly Thursdays. I don't think this is actually Vietnamese dessert, but I mean the name is specifically Vietnamese, but I think it's called chia. I think chia is basically where you can add corn, where you can add like similar ingredients, lychee, many more. I think it's like one of the things we hand out. I'm not taking too long. I know what you're thinking. One group won't be enough. Indeed, I agree. Let's look at the big picture here. The real vast cell area. So let's say this. Volunteering also builds leadership skills with coordination and builds lifelong friendship. So I pull up the stats, not stats, but like a paraphrase in text citation. And it's going to be volunteers in low-income communities show stronger leadership, social competence, social competence and commitment than non-volunteers. Quote from Zanbar in the year of 2019. And volunteering will taught me how to organize donation drives, delegate tasks, and lead outreach events with confidence. Yes, I maintain confidence throughout these tasks. As much as our local area is doing, we need a larger voice in-house. So let's say in college, you can think of affordable housing, right? We have tons of debate on the affordable housing. So the clubs that in college, like let's say in one of a local community college, California, they are funding affordable housing club. They at times monthly or bi-monthly volunteer to allow homeless to sign when it comes to living in a affordable. It's not a straightforward process. It's a little step forward to how the mayor dedicates I think it's commitments. I don't know how to explain what the mayor was doing at that time. It's a little hard for me to step in, see what the mayor was doing. But they're trying to clean up the homeless areas. And there's some vast reasons. And they are definitely in the burden. So the goal is to ensure that they don't live like in the burden. They don't exactly do 4,000 for free. There has to be like either like a written contract or maybe more, but I won't deep dive into contracts because there are so many substances that cover contracts. But I think written contract is one of the essential ones. If you ask me as a basic lawyer, or not a lawyer, and there's also all dental services, from dental to housing, not housing, from dental to I think it's like fundraising for meals and more. There's some of those clubs outside of college, my college, and I don't remember the names. I think one of them was San Jose Running Club in San Jose. They have times meet up with that dental charity. Those are outside my college. They are not really included in my college. And they would at times just serve hand out flyers, give them enough information on when they distribute clothes, when they distribute food, when they begin to present their leadership and many more. Yeah. Well, I guess a lot to cover, but I will cover in the next session. So, volunteer helps meet urgent needs in homeless communities, strengthens leadership and teamwork, and builds lasting social impact. Volunteering is not just about helping others. It also helps you grow by building new skills, forming friendships, and giving you a sense of purpose. And yes, if you were to ask me as an advice, I would definitely agree to believe in yourself. Those three things I listed on my cover today's presentation are what I would highly recommend and all of you to consider for your next event. And lastly, we'll work on it. That's the least of our words right now. And that concludes my session for today. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you in the next session. Here's just basically what I was covering in the slides, just for reference. It's so big. And then, there's more. It's I should have shared my screen in the first place, which I didn't do. Sorry about that. Guess you can see my face. I will work on this next session when I share my screen again on my YouTube. So we're gonna be better off.